got two guests today, Chaim and Mindy. Everybody else, I believe, is a member. So for the benefit of our guests, this is the Trusted Referral Network, as it says right here. And we are a network of about 175 or so marketing services providers around the country, all pretty small, mostly under 20, many solopreneurs, some agencies, as I say, up to about 20 people, specializing in different aspects of marketing services. And the idea is none of us can typically provide everything that our clients need in the world of marketing. So there are opportunities for us to refer business, collaborate, subcontract, and also share knowledge. And we do that weekly. We alternate between Tuesday evenings. So on the East Coast, it's 5 p.m. And the West Coast, of course, 2 p.m. And Wednesday mornings, 11 a.m. East and 8 a.m. West. We haven't had anybody outside of those time zones as a member, although we do have one guy from Europe who shows up every once in a while. But at each of these meetings, we also try to do a showcase, and that's 15 minutes. And today, Joan, otherwise known as Joni Abraham, who's a relatively new member, is she's from Style Branding, and she's got a unique offering in the video storytelling space, video for social media. And correct me if I've got that title wrong, but
that's exactly right.
Video for social media, wonderful. So we going to give you 15 minutes. You can use the presentation you can present. That's available now. If everybody else would go on mute, certainly if you've got questions, drop them in the chat. I also encourage everybody to put their LinkedIn link in the chat, because if you forget, how to reach somebody, you can download the chat afterwards, and you'll have at least that way to reach them. Of course, you could always ask me or go to the TRN website if you remember the name of the company of the person you wanted to connect with. And I do encourage you to think about, when you go around, who do you want to connect with one-on-one? Because this can only give you a rough sense of what people do, but it should be a taste of, maybe there's a connection that I can make. And if we spend a half hour on Zoom or the phone, we'll get a much better sense for how we might be able to help each other out. So let me pass the baton to Joan. I'm going to put you in speaker mode, so the recording will be just you. If everybody else would go on mute, of course, if you do present, then the presentation will come up large. So take it away.
Do I click on shared screen?
Share screen, that'll do it. Yep.
Good. Wait a minute, I wonder if I better put this in show mode. Oh, wait a minute.
If it's a PowerPoint or some sort of presentation, you might want to share it first and then put it into show mode.
Oh,
there we go. That's good. We see it.
Okay, good. I've been so excited to present our story because I love what we do. And I also just want to say that, Michael, I find your network extremely helpful, and I love the people that are involved in it. I had a little technical breakdown before, so that the formatting is a little sketchy, but I think it'll tell you a little bit about the vidbits and what they are. And basically, we're talking about daily episodic storytelling for social media. This isn't working. It's not clicking. Oh, wait, maybe I clicked down here. Aha. Let's see. So, can I make this, yeah. The problem that I saw in the marketplace when I started to create these vidbits about 6 years ago was, first of all, I knew that all lifestyle brands needed daily social content. And most social content is still photography when video is so much more powerful. Current video content is, at least in the fashion industry, was way too expensive for most brands. And all social content today either sells product or educates. So I realized that there was very little content that was daily content that entertained and emotionally connected with the consumer. And this was the, oh, I'm really sorry, but I'm having trouble here. This was the solution. This was the solution that we came up with. About 6 years ago, I created these vidbits. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, I used to produce fashion shows. So I came from the entertainment perspective of promoting product. So I carried that all the way through the last 30 years in trying to find something that worked for social media content. So our vidbits deliver 30-second stories through email and social media with fresh episodes daily. They entertain and they drive the consumer directly to the product link. Unlike current video content, our vidbits are priced to sell fresh daily. So we sell 10 stories, 10 30-second stories for $12,000, unlike most commercials today. The episodic storytelling that relates to a brand community keeps the consumer much more engaged than just educational or informative content. We manipulate the product image as the visual of the vidbit, which creates a very stylized environment for the product, giving the brand a personality. So we don't talk about the brand at all. We don't talk about the product at all. We're telling a story, but the product is the main visual. There are no visible characters, so that, as I mentioned, it gives the product personality. The vidbits offer messaging that is a relief from the slew of sales messaging that we are fed daily. And the vidbits are proven to increase brand awareness and sales. First of all, it's video, so you know how powerful it is. We all know how powerful video is over still. And second of all, we know how powerful entertainment is and storytelling. So I wanted to show you a couple of them. This is one of the first ones that we did. And I'll show you how we evolved.
You're not sharing the audio. If you want to share the audio, you may need to reshare. So unshare and then reshare. And there's when you share, there's a there's a check mark, I think, that says share audio as well.
Share sound. There we go.
Try
Thank you.
that.
Yeah, you should hear it.
And you can play and we'll see.
Oops. Something, my Zoom screen has asked, share your computer audio, please install. Oh, I don't know if it's working.
We see a blank video and we see you hitting play. Oh, there it goes. We don't hear it yet.
But wait, well, this one has no music. Wait, let me
Okay.
stop this for a second so I can go back a little bit. Here we go. I started to show you one of the first ones we did, and you'll see that if you can't hear this, we had voiceover when we started. As I mentioned, there were no characters, we had voiceover. So I was going to show you how we evolved. You won't hear the story, but it's two guys talking, as you heard before. Whoops. It's two guys talking, as you heard. Oh, and I can hear everything. I'm so sorry you can't hear it.
You need to click share sound.
Yeah. That's under when you do share screen. I think it's under advanced.
sharing.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You need to click share sound. So
you have to stop sharing first.
That's the key. You have to stop sharing and then
Okay.
reshare. And you'll see two options at the bottom that say share sound and share video.
Oh,
Now
it's optimized for.
Yeah, there you go.
But see, then this comes up. My password to allow
Double click
this,
to
and
enter full screen.
where is it?
That's
Oh,
me.
you
I'm
don't
sorry.
have even given permission for your audio.
See, it's not letting me share unless I put my password in, and I don't, if I look it up, it'll take all this time.
That's
All right.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to go to the next one because I look at the visuals of this, and just so you know that there's voiceover telling a story, you'll see more with the second one. If I, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm so upset. This is the second one where we decided to put the words on the screen because that's the way people talk today when they're chatting, rather than a voiceover where we thought it would be more current. So you don't need to hear anything. So you saw how all the components come together. And these are our latest ones that are a little bit more sophisticated than the old ones. And there's one that isn't quite ready yet. It doesn't have music under it, but I wanted to play it for you because we saw that people couldn't grasp all the copy in time. So we changed it a little bit more. So you're actually seeing the creative process that we went through to get this to where it's supposed to be. And technically, I love this one. I just got it last night. So there's no music under it, but hope. One thing you see is how important the music is because it ties everything, it keeps everything flowing. So this gives you an idea of the components that are in there. And this is what we believe the VidBits can do. They inform and they entertain. They apply to many social channels. You can use them in store. They merchandise. They distinguish the brand. They enhance customer loyalty, and they impact sales. Now, I told you each one, I should mention, like each one is a standalone story, but these are also episodic. So she was in a hotel and she came home and now she was having her first big art opening, and each one is only 30 seconds. So you have to hear a string of them to get the whole story. That's one of the reasons we sell them in batches of 10, also because you can't just run one and make it work. But I think that if you do it on a continuous basis, you're going to have an audience that really appreciates getting a new story every day. This was the one campaign that we did. It was to promote a program on dance on TV. We sent out vidbits that were just clips from the dance companies from all over the world. And it just shows you the difference in how many views the show got before the vidbits and after the vidbits through their email audience. But it went from 11 to 2,600 people. The click-throughs went to 101, and the engagement went up to 110.
And how were these distributed? Were they distributed via email?
They were only distributed through the emails of the group called Dance on Detroit, which was having a special on PBS in Detroit. And the vidbits were to promote the television show. So instead of telling original stories, I used just little clips from dance performances from the groups that were being featured on television. And just the fact that people were getting these video clips of these fabulous dance companies, that's how much the vidbits increased the sales of the there was a series that ran on television, and that's the increase of the people who received the emails from that group Dance on Detroit.
And are you
Then this
promoting,
is
by
the-
the way, you have about 3.5 minutes left. Do you want to take questions in the chat, or just open it up, or just continue?
I can open it up because basically I'm done. It was like the most convoluted presentation I think I've ever given. I'm really sorry.
Oh, that's quite all
But
right.
I'd love to take two questions. I think you got an idea of what it is, but they look a lot more professional when they're all together and in the story.
And you could put
does
the
anybody
link. I
have any
think you have a
questions?
link to your portfolio of some vidbits, right? You could put that in the
Yeah,
Yeah.
my website has about 40. We did about 60. And the two that you just saw, the Hotel Pelicano and the Paul Smith one, were just done this week. But all the old ones are on our website when we have the voiceovers. But basically, it's the manipulation of the image, the storytelling, and the website at the end. Those are the basic components.
mhm.
Um,
And are you're
does
you're
any-
sending this through email? Also, are you using TikTok? What other channels are they your clients
Um,
typically using?
Well, we don't have any clients yet, which is the problem. We're a
Okay.
startup, so I'm also in the process of raising money. But I post every day on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I also post on LinkedIn. But these are basically for the public.
Okay.
So,
And
but I
so
feel very strongly about email delivery because then it comes to the person.
right.
And the idea is that they run on our website and they run on the client's websites through the client's social channels. And then they can also see them on our channels.
Are you doing anything, any promotions to get people to take the risk of starting with you, given the fact that you don't have a portfolio of clients?
I'm looking for brands. I'm looking for brands that would be interested in starting with us and who would get a reduced price and a guarantee, somewhat of a guarantee that we can increase their visibility and their awareness, or they would get their money back. So if anybody knows any brands that would be interested in this, they're much better looking on the website than they are in that presentation I just gave you.
And you mentioned what types of brands, so fashion brands, what else?
You know what? It can be anything. The first ones we did were in an apartment complex that suited the market we were talking to. Young, first-time kids living in this, first-time professionals living in the city. And the apartment was like this really cool apartment for young people. So real estate developer, and we showed all different rooms because we had products in all different rooms. So each story was in a different room. So any lifestyle, we can do anything, that's a lifestyle product. We can figure out how to tell it. And because we don't talk about the product, we talk about people who would use the product.
Other questions?
Does anybody have any questions? Oh, that was such a terrible.
I have a comment though. So Joan, you said
Sure.
you're raising money, right? So you should. I recently found out about this community like recently called Venture Starters. So you should definitely check them out. Go to venturestarters.com and they have weekly events at I think Wednesday evening 7 to 9. And I think that would be a good place for you.
I'm with a company called New Chip, which is an investment accelerator. And it's very intense. I mean, they put you through this major program, educational program, MBA program. And I've raised money before, so I'm somewhat familiar with the process. But now I had a CFO last time. Now I understand what goes on in the process. And they're very helpful. It's a 6-month program, but I really appreciate that. And I highly recommend using an accelerator to anybody who's trying to raise money.
Hey, Joan, is
But if it,
mostly just product or brands, or would you do a bit for service-oriented business?
for instance,
Well, a marketing firm.
I That's a very good question. I mean, I'm very focused on products, obviously. That's a very good question. I'd have to think about that. Because it was originally started for the fashion retail industry and to focus on apparel, lifestyle products, coffee makers from Target. My particular expertise, because I do all the merchandising, is, I can make something from J.C. Penney sit next to Neiman Marcus and you don't know which is which. But because we make everything look good is basically what it amounts to. I've never thought of a service before, but
I think it's
something
mostly for developing
That was
the
my
brand.
question too. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
it, Mark.
All right, let's thank you so much, Joan. Really appreciate it, and definitely
Thanks, guys.
drop the your URL or your website address into the chat. I also just put into the chat for you specifically, message you the Luxury Council, which is something you might want to look into.
Thank you. Whoops.
Yeah.
When I get nervous, I'm so bad. Technically, it's
All right, let's move on. Thank you again. I am going to drop into the chat the order in which people showed up, more or less. If your name is not in this chat, let me know. Let's see. So Rajiv, John Parsons, Daniel Tappan would be lead off. We have, let's see, 4x4, 16 people. Let's do 2 minutes. It's going to be tight. So when I put this up, it means you'll hear it as well. Time's up. So Rajiv, take it away. Everybody go on mute other than the speaker, of course.
You've heard this saying, the internet is forever, right? By show of hands. Well, what I'm about to say may shock you or even surprise you, because it is not. What do I mean by that? I mean that whatever's on the internet can absolutely be deleted. Yes, you heard me, deleted. Just like pressing that, well, not just like, but similar to pressing the delete key on your keypad. Why would you want to delete anything, you may ask? Because you might want to delete bad reviews, because those are making your customers run away from you and choose someone else. You may also want to delete some misinformation that's floating out there on the internet, causing a lot of confusion in the minds of your potential partners, your prospects, your potential principals, investors, whoever. This is what I recommend you do. Google yourself. I recently did a speech at Columbia University called "It's Clarity, Not Vanity." And the topic of that speech was Google yourself. It's not vanity, it's clarity. Because when you do, you'll see what's out there that's connected to your name. And if there's something out there that's amiss, you now have the opportunity, or you have the awareness to do something about it. And if you do see something amiss, can definitely let us know, and we would absolutely be happy to take care of that for you. Success guaranteed, or your money back. That's our claim and that's our promise. And I'll put my info in the chat, and I look forward to speaking to those that don't already know me. And Michael, I'll leave it there for your benefit.
Wonderful. That was 10 seconds left. John Parsons, take it over.
Thanks, Michael. I'm John Parsons. I'm in a firm that produces video. We're experimenting with interactive video currently. I'm also a nonfiction ghostwriter. And because I'm going to be doing a showcase 2 weeks from now on the 29th, mark the date, I'm going to yield the balance of my time.
Oh, but not everybody's going to be there. So who are you looking to meet? And
well, we do video production for marketing content. We've been doing that for quite a while, partly because of one of the books I wrote. And we're a cost-saving alternative for video content production, acquisition and production. The interactive part has always fascinated me, and I've kind of dragged my company forward with that to do, what if you could produce a video that gave users choices? So you can choose whether to buy this kind of bike or that kind of bike, or whether to listen to a sampling of a podcast promotion, or subscribe, or any of the calls to action that you can incorporate into a single video experience. Or I'm sorry, it's actually a chain of videos, or other interactive elements. So trying to be more engaging, less talking at you, more inviting you to participate. Does that, if that makes sense?
It does. Is it used at all for learning or for training?
We have a platform that's designed for training and learning, but that requires a subscription to the platform. And so, yes, we can do interactivity for onboarding and training, and we've done things like that. And that was what my book was about. But it was the marketing, especially small to medium businesses, usually can't afford the platform subscription that it requires to support interactivity. So we've developed a new process for producing interactive video without the platform.
All right, and that is your 2 minutes. Thank you.
I thought I was gonna
Daniel Tappan, or
Okay.
Tappan. You have to correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, it's tapping your fingers, tapping your toes. But
Okay.
and I'm not the only one to misname someone. Receive my apologies. I should have been looking at my keyboard a little more closely. Yeah, my name is Daniel Tappan. I lead sales for LeadRev.ai. I know last time I was on this call, we were lead roll, but I'm happy and excited to announce our rebranding. Our founder Tyler wanted to really build a brand that reflects our tech-driven nature, and that's exactly what we are. We are an outbound agency that develops the tech that you need to put together all the complicated pieces of the puzzle that is outbound. Everything from lead targeting, making sure you have the data with valid emails, valid phone numbers, deliverability, and how to navigate the spam box, and really produce a strong omni-channel approach across LinkedIn, direct dial, as well as email. Personalize everything that goes out, really perform due diligence and research on prospects, as well as some really cool site visitor stuff that we're rolling out. I know, Mark, you and me had a great conversation about that. But really putting all the pieces together and empowering our clients with the tech they need to see real results and test their market with their offer. We thrive in the high ticket space, and well, that's really just about all we do. If there's any questions about LeadRev and what we provide, I'd like to use the rest of my 30 seconds here if anyone's got some questions.
Yeah, you're going to have to update your listing on TrustRef to LeadRev.
I'll get to it eventually. It's been a busy week already, and it's just Tuesday.
All right, that is. I have a quick question. Are you selling sort of the enablement or more of the service, or both?
Both. Great question. I appreciate that. We start out with the enablement, and then by invite, we will upgrade our clients to a fully managed version of this. But we want to provide a playground where you have all of the tech and tools and capability that you need. We manage things for our clients, so we'll purchase burner domains, get all the setup. We have an expert team of copywriters that will give you copy and walk you through a deep dive on your messaging and your positioning. And then after that, it is it's just a playground to test out different audiences, different messaging, and start driving results, and then upgrade things from there.
Thank you. Faith. It would be Faith, Mark, and then Lynn. So Faith, you're up.
Okay, hi, my name is Faith Thomasis, and I am essentially a messaging specialist. I help clients articulate what they want to say and then say it for them directly and as succinctly as possible. So that involves copywriting, name development, positioning, planning, etc. And I've been known for the icon parking lots that I named in New York, but some other fun examples, so you'll remember me, is many years ago I had an assignment to name bicycle parts for a company that was selling accompaniments to bicycles. So they had a line for really young kids, and I named that Rookie Rider. And then they had another line that was targeted to preteens, and that name I came up with is Spokeheads. So I do have some examples in the marketplace. I'm looking for referrals of anyone that needs. I work both with agencies and as a sole proprietor directly with clients. So anyone that needs some kind of communications planning assistance, that's what I do.
Wonderful. And based in New York, and I like the little weather vane back there. It's very succinct. 4 letters, and it gives you all the directions you need. All right. Thank you, Faith. Mark Harry, you're up.
Mark Harry here in Salt Lake City. I'm just waiting around for any connections. If you want a LinkedIn partner who strategically really will help you with finding people to help you with performance, I'd like to make that request right now. That's my big ask. I do 30-day trials on all websites that deserve to be on the first page of Google. And that puts me in the position of a performance-based marketer. So I surround myself with performance-based marketers, and I'd love to share with you who I know in my network. That's what you would get if you would take some time to meet with me. I'd also like to tell you a little bit about what I do. I do no rank, no pay services on websites. I work strictly with digital marketers. I work with virtual assistant teams. I work with lead generation, LinkedIn lead generation companies, and I help set up a division in their organization at no cost to them, which would allow them to start selling white label SEO or SEO to their clients. I offer this service that I could explain to you about no rank, no pay, performance-based SEO, and we could chat more about this when we connect. So anyway, Mark Harry, SEO Game here in Salt Lake City. Thanks, Michael.
I have a quick question. How many clients do you typically manage at one time, or how many sites? Is it like hundreds of sites?
The record is in one day, somebody gave me 50 websites to work on.
But how many are you managing simultaneously?
I'm managing
right
hundreds.
Now? Hundreds. Okay. Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's helpful to know. I mean, for me, not only what you do, but where you're located. I have a mind that tries to map people. Not everybody does, but Lynn Donaldson, then Henning, then Mark.
Hi, thank you, Michael. So nearly everyone on this meeting will have taken a pharmaceutical product, a pill, to either get rid of a headache, or they have to have a pill to stay alive, or a pill that gives them better quality of life, or they might use a medical device, even down to a heart pacemaker or something like that. Those things have to get to market, and that's what we do. We help those products get to market by working with the companies very early on, once they're coming through clinical stages, to get the message out there, to educate people and get messages out there. But what we really do is help them with the strategy. What are they saying? Who are they saying it to? And what does that look like? And what are the strategy and tactics to do that? Now, we have 3 pillars with Connect A Strategic Solutions Group. One of them is people. The second one is product. And the third one is process. The people stands for the fact that while our teams are going through product launch, it's very stressful. And what I do is I keep them at a peak performance with mindset and performance coaching. Then the product, my consultants work with the teams to help them build the strategy, develop the strategy, and then implement that strategy to a successful launch. And as Rajiv likes me to point out, that meant a difference for one company of $1.3 billion more at launch than one of the other products that was being presented at the same time. The process is about Lilly Launch Tools. You've heard us talk about Lilly Launch Tools. Rajiv and I developed this together because it's a tool that helps these companies to actually develop the strategy, collaborate within a tool so that everybody knows what's going on, what's the strategy, and what are the tactics and who's doing what. So it's collaborating and also informative so that everybody knows they're on the same page. So I got it. I'm from Connecte Strategic Solutions Group, and we are about getting you the products that you need for your health by helping the customer to get their launch successful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Henning, then Mark, and then Mindy.
Thank you, Michael. Name is Henning Schwienem, coming to you from the central coast of California, town called San Luis Obispo. And I cover this small part of marketing called sales. I started my first sales role in 1997, selling iron oxide pigments for a German chemical company into the construction industry. Think pavers and roof tiles and sound walls. Everything that's colored concrete is colored with iron oxide pigments. And I spent about 25 years in sales, and also progressed from selling chemicals into software, into SaaS, into professional services. And incidentally, I also sold into sales and marketing organizations. And so I always say I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly of sales leadership, and really formed a strong opinion as to what constitutes greatness and success in sales. And I left the last of those roles almost 3.5 years ago now. And I wanted to go to work as a fractional or interim CRO or fractional or interim VP of sales. And I quickly found out I wasn't well connected enough to find those roles. I wasn't connected to CEOs or founders, investors, board members. And I also found there wasn't a placement agency for those sales leadership roles. And so I pivoted and launched Vendux as a matchmaker, as an agency for fractional and interim sales leaders. And now 3.5 years later, Vendux is still the only matchmaker with a focus on those sales leadership roles. We represent the largest community of such executives in North America. And I'm looking to connect to any startup or scale-up founder or CEO that has a challenge in sales.
Wonderful. Love the story. I think that brings it to life.
I'm definitely interested in connecting with.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
You could, Henning, and both of you should put your LinkedIn in the chat.
In the chat.
Okay. Let's see. Mark Iorio, then Mindy, then Scott.
All right, Michael, thank you. And thanks for introducing me to Jamie last week. I thought that was great, and we're going to work together. So that's wonderful stuff. I'm Mark Iorio. I've got a business called the Brand and Culture Alignment Toolkit. It was initially designed to bring teams into an alignment around a collective purpose and inspire each member of the team to become a better version of themselves. It's science-based. It's based on the work that Carl Jung did back in the 1930s in basically looking at personality archetypes, but we've designed it for teams rather than individuals, like a DISC or Myers-Briggs. It sort of measures and maps the collective perception of an organization's North Star, we call it a role target, and then builds practical behavioral methods that help each member of the team align and embrace the North Star. It's easy. It's 4 steps. There's a cultural survey that my partner and I, Alcini, developed. As I said in the past, Keith Reynolds has gone through this process. It's done by the participants on their own time. It's only 15 minutes. It's an online survey instrument. It's a bunch of exercises, word associations. Then we do some workshops to get everyone sort of personally aligned around how they can change their behavior. What does it do for the organization? It unifies disparate teams, engages people, it stimulates collaboration, inspires continuous self-improvement. It fosters open communication, innovation, gets people to shift from negative to positive behavior, breaking down silos and overcoming, passive aggressive behavior. So Great business. We've done a little bit over 11,000 of them over the last decade for about 340 different companies, various sizes and various industries.
Very cool.
So
Thank you.
that's that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Mark Iorio. I'm gonna get that right. Start with
Iorio
the I.
works, Michael. Don't worry.
Iorio. All right. Let's see. Mindy, our guest, one of our two guests.
Oh, thank you. Mindy Scarlett. I'm a ghostwriter and branding expert. The concept of a branding expert is important because one of the first things I do with someone who wants to write a book to shine a light on their business is to make sure they're writing the correct book that will actually shine a light on the correct thing and actually add to their bottom line. So I do that in 3 ways. I have a concierge approach where they don't have to pick up a pencil. I interview them and extract the information, write the book, and then pull it in-house where my creative team does the front cover, the interior, and the upload to Amazon. And then we do a 30-day pre-launch to then make them Amazon bestsellers. I then do a coached version where I then coach someone through writing theirs. And then as of today, I've just struck a deal with the Citrus Club in Orlando, who will then host and sponsor my Ultimate Authors Workshop, which will be launched in January of 2023. So my ask is any business owner, founder, coach, or consultant who wishes to become a best-selling author, please have them give me a call.
Wonderful. And do you have links to books that you have ghost written that you might want to put in the chat so people can? All right, good. Thank you so much, Mindy, and welcome. If you're interested in joining, definitely we should do a one-on-one. All right. Scott Lang. Scott, are you with us?
Thank you, Michael.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm with you. Good afternoon, everybody. Nice to see the old faces and welcome to the new faces. Before I start, I'd like to, again, I think Mark mentioned this earlier, Mark Iorio, to thank the Trusted Referral Network and Michael for the connections we make here, because Mark Harriet is working on a SEO for a client that I've been working with, Jane Parker Baked Goods. Many of you have heard it over and over. I still don't know why you don't want fruitcake from me, but long story short, they're currently deployed a digital email campaign that I organized, put together for them, but the SEO is something that I referred over to Mark, and he's doing a killer job for him. And so I want to shout out for Mark. He's a great guy to work with. So what I do is I'm a business development professional, and I do brand build business relationships through alliances and partnerships. I'm currently working on the naming rights for the Manhattan Center, or many of you will call it by one of its major venues inside the building called the Hammerstein Ballroom. It's at 34th Street and 8th Avenue, and it's a very valuable piece of land property and a crossroads nexus of millions and millions of commuters and people walking through that area on the way to Hudson Yards, Penn Station, or the Moynihan train station, or etc., and the Garden. Secondly, I just brought on a new client, which we'll talk about in a couple of weeks, called Markaz. They build the most accurate small business database. I'm going to make it simple for today and say it's like Dun & Bradstreet on steroids. It's a SaaS platform that allows small businesses to control all the information about their company, and to allow large enterprise companies to work their supply chain. What's the time?
That's it. You hit your 2 minutes.
Well, I have one other client, but
right. So you're making connections, and 2 weeks or something like that, you are doing a showcase on Markaz.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Chaim, you're up.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Rajiv, for inviting me, and thank you, Michael, for letting me speak. And I'm Chaim, in-motion coach. I help and support people on their life and business. And the way I do it is by life give you principle. When you follow the principle, you can predict the result. And the main principle says something like that. If you want to have something that you didn't have before, you need to do something that you didn't do before. Now, that's the key for many people. They're stopped right there because they're afraid to go to area they're not familiar. It's shaky ground. They don't know what the result. They don't know what's going to happen. So they're all the time going back to safe territory. And so when I came, I changed this formula, which is mean for me, it's nobody fail, nobody make mistake, nobody do anything wrong. You do something that doesn't work. Now the question is why? Yeah, either for lack of knowledge or some kind of resistance. So, and basically what happened is your belief and your habit don't let you to move forward. So when I replace your habit, you start to challenge your belief. Now you open the door to go to any territory that you don't know, you're not familiar. I can say so far, I have 80% success when I choose to work with someone, because not everybody is qualified. You need to be ready to do something that you didn't do before, which is meant to step to unfamiliar territory, but you're not going to be by yourself. I'm with you along the way. I have a workshop that I do this Thursday and the next week on Tuesday night. And basically I cover 4 areas, which is the principle of life and business, the principle of communication. Okay, I'm done.
Yep. Sorry for cutting you off. Chaim, you remind me when you say that you take people on the journey. I saw the Lord of the Rings last night. So you're the Gandalf of coaching, I guess, taking Frodo through the dangerous territories of the, what is it, Middle Earth or something? All right.
Think about that.
Yeah.
People not go to territory that they're not familiar. The mind all the time take you back to safe ground, to familiar territory. You're not going anywhere from that.
You got to watch that movie again, or read the book. Stephen Redford.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stephen Redford. My partner and I have a company called AG2 Digital. We're a digital marketing company. We specialize in branding, website design, and SEO. And when I say branding, it's visual branding. My partner is an excellent graphic designer. So our business has evolved. It's constantly evolving. What I'm doing a lot of now is once we've created a website for someone, I'm helping them brand their LinkedIn pages and their Google business platforms. And then essentially become them. I take over their pages because they're too busy to do them themselves. So essentially, I'm a CEO of an insurance software company. I'm the founder of a small law firm. I'm an insurance broker, and I'm the owner and founder of a art gallery and an art fair in Bermuda. So what we do is we create blogs for them. I use content writers. We create blogs, which we turn into newsletters, and then use MailChimp to get the newsletter out. And then the newsletters become things for me to post on their LinkedIn pages. So I'm constantly posting for them, posting for their Google business profiles, helping them with SEO in that way. And they've become I've become partners with them. So the other thing I was going to say, yeah, so if you looked at my LinkedIn page, it's horrible because I haven't been able to keep up my own pages because I'm for other people. But I have like 8 to 10 clients. I just took on an architect, and I'm now going to start working with an LGBTQ marketing agency, branding their new website. So my clients are small. I'm small, and that's the way my business is evolving. And I'm based here in New York.
And Stephen, what is your typical retainer for a client like that? Is it a retainer
One to
based
two,
thing?
1 to 2,000 a month.
Oh, great. Okay.
If we're doing SEO and I'm posting for them, the only thing we don't supply is the content. If we have to use outside writers, it's
Right. Plus the writer cost. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. And welcome back. It's been a while.
yeah. I've been traveling.
Yeah, good for you. Hopefully it's
Yeah.
been good for you. Keith Reynolds.
Off of mute.
There you go.
Remembered. How's everybody doing? Nice to see you all again. I'm Keith Reynolds. I'm the founder of Publio, and we are a fractional CMO service. How many of you work with clients that don't have a marketing or content strategy and are out spending money? That's the problem I address. So I have a fractional CMO service. We develop and execute strategy. For some clients, we are part of the executive team and manage everything soup to nuts. And for others, we take on key assignments that are results focused. 3 areas of specialization are SEO content hubs. I've built very large magazines for very large companies, and over the last 10, 12 years developed, or I guess I'd say migrated from who we are, what we do, Buy My Stuff websites, which I've written and produced over 100 over the last 25 years. My first website was in 1994. To about 10 years ago, I developed a chief packaging officer for Kodak, and we entered the market as they were coming out of bankruptcy with a magazine that was built on top of HubSpot. So it was fully interactive, and we were able to double the size of their database, build their sales pipeline. And when they sold the company, the magazine was part of the deal. And it made me think content has enterprise value. So that's one thing I've really studied over the last several years, is how to build content hubs that really enable your customers to do business with you and to build a relationship with you without being sold to. Very inboundy kind of marketing. I also help executives with executive roundtables, thank you, podcasts and webinars, because that's really the way they can reach out executive to other people in their market they need to reach. And lastly, I help optimize marketing automation and CRM. And
he's got news about an upcoming event on Thursday. You want to talk about that briefly?
That's where I was going. Just to close, we're featuring Michael Bendit, a surprise, on Thursday in a roundtable. One of my clients has been using my book to promote their event management software. I have a 7-step methodology I teach people on how to go to market with content, and events are a form of content. And so Michael's going to be speaking about ROI and how to talk to executives about marketing. And I'm really looking forward. So please join us Thursday at 4:00 and support Michael.
Thank you. So timing is good. With 2 minutes left, I didn't miss anybody, right? Okay, then I will go. I'll give myself 2 minutes. My name is Michael Bendit, of course, and my core business, I do this trusted referral network to benefit everybody in the group as well as myself. My core business is selling software development services. And that's a pretty broad range of capabilities. So I have a dozen teams that I represent. And my job is to match the team to the need. I'll just give you an example. I got a call a couple of days ago from somebody who I hadn't spoken with in about 5 years, but fortunately he remembered me. And he works for a doctor's office that has expanded into wellness. And they built an app, so a mobile app, but they built it sort of haphazardly. And so they're looking for a team that they can rely on to look at the code, figure out why it's not stable, fix it, and get it to launch. So it's a very specific need they have, somebody to be able to look at somebody else's code, somebody else able to, take what they have and build upon it restructure as necessary to make it more stable. And I have a team that's got, a significant depth of experience in mobile development. Part of what they do is, taking over problem projects. A lot of my teams do more basic stuff. We do websites, we do e-commerce sites in addition to mobile applications. Love to work with agencies who don't always have the skills in-house or the resources in-house to do that development work. And they also would prefer to work on design, strategy, SEO, a lot of the things that you guys do. So great leads for me, and I'll wrap it up with this, are small digital agencies that present themselves as, delivering the website, but also building all of those services around it. And we can do the build of the website for them. So we are at the top of the hour, going back to gallery mode. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to our guests, Chaim and Mindy, for joining. And if you, now would be a really good time to grab the chat text. So if you go to chat and you open that up and then you click all the way on the bottom right, there's those three dots. The first menu item is Save Chat. That'll download it to your computer. And make sure you at least speak with one other person on this call. That will sort of double the value of your hour today. So also one more thing, we do have openings for upcoming showcases. I don't necessarily recommend anybody do the 23rd, which is the night before Thanksgiving, but the following 2 weeks are taken. The next available is December 13th, and after that. So, and it's as you saw today, it's a 15-minute showcase. Joan, thank you for taking today and presenting in VidBits. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. It was a pleasure, Michael.
Thank you.